Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael, you know how they do. They always go at each other while debating, deliberating the Mount Rushmore of any given topic. And this week, that Mount Rushmore is the Mount Rushmore of Glasses. Did I think of this one?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
You know, you like glasses.
I like glasses.
You don't wear glasses. Or yeah, you do.
I do.
Not normally.
You do wear contacts.
We're
drilling down in him right now.
I never wear contacts. I often wear glasses.
He's got dummy glasses to look cool.
Yeah, those clear ones. I bet they don't even have like.
He's like that girl that also wears like a cute cardigan.
I actually do have. I think they call them progressives. And today, our guest
Let's
is
check their voting record.
the inventor of the bifocals, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, Benny?
Hey, Ben.
Hey, what's up?
Ben.
Hey.
So why did you invent bifocals?
Look, I don't want to talk about bifocals. I want to talk about my other invention,
The Franklin stove.
the crotchless bee suit. Now, I love beekeeping, but I also love drinking alcohol. And so I would drink a bunch of alcohol, and I'd go out, and I wanted to tend to my bees and stuff like that, but I also have to take a leak. So I invented a crotchless bee suit. Well, I'll tell you more about that later.
How do you not get stung?
The thing is, you do, because
but you're so drunk you don't
You're
mind.
so drunk. I forgot to put like a mesh around the crotch area.
Right.
So I got stung right on my dick.
But did it swell
Right
up?
on my Yankee Doodle.
Did it swell up?
It was swell, and with the girls, I was dandy. Well, when you swell down there, it's not so bad, bro. You know?
Right.
Oh, thanks a lot, Ben. Thanks for being here today.
That was the strangest Philadelphia accent I've ever heard. And I know, it was what, 250 years ago plus, but
Right. You don't expect him to sound like a hey, how you doing?
Like Marky Mark from Invincible. So thanks, Ben. You're gonna hang around for the whole episode. What? Okay. Thanks so much for being here. So yes, glasses. I think glasses are among the most fashionable tools that we have to meet the needs of a disability. Because if you see like an Instagram model now, she'll be a nerd. She'll be wearing glasses.
Right.
Or people have fake glasses. Like you don't have a fake wheelchair, right?
Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Get better parking.
the only equivalent of like fake glasses is like someone with a pimp cane.
Pimp cane, exactly.
Just strutting along every once in a while, maybe picking up some trash.
Every once
putting
in
it in a bag.
Every once in a while, I throw on a bedazzled neck brace
Oh, you did.
just for the hell of it.
Just want to feel
Just want
pretty.
to look fancy. Yeah.
Was Thanos' glove, was that for some sort of disability?
A disability, like a carpal tunnel.
He was
or
just-
something? Was he bowling? Was he a bowler?
He couldn't kind of harness all of the Infinity Gems without it. So
it's
he's
a Nintendo Power Glove.
that's true.
Oh, it is.
That's the most important thing to know out of Power Glove.
Well, glasses are really popular right now, more so I think than ever before with people, and it's like kind of a fashion accoutrement now. So Mount Rushmore of Glasses, you guys are both wearing glasses. What's your prescription?
Oh, I've got one going one way and the other one going the other way. I'm like nearsighted in one eye and farsighted in the other eye.
You should try my bee suit if you got one going one.
Yeah, I'm like one eye is
Negative 20 and one's 40 or something.
I have no idea what I am.
Oh, okay.
Blind. I don't know.
Oh, blind. Okay, then you go first.
Well, okay.
All right.
All right. So my first choice is Buddy Holly glasses.
oh.
First choice on Jeff Hopkins' pick of the week, Buddy Holly.
Oh, really?
Yes. What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front?
Why they got a front? Buddy Holly, the probably the person who made being hips made it hip to be square.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look back to the 1950s and all of the early kind of like rock and roll, rockabilly type singers, their main gig was to be as cool looking as possible, and glasses didn't fit that bill. But Buddy Holly made it work.
Yeah.
And, it's a tradition in music that kind of got passed forward from, him to Elvis Costello, any number of singers who kind of want to go for that like Rivers Cuomo's another one.
Colin Malloy.
I mean, it's in the vernacular now. The Buddy Holly glasses.
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
Yeah.
And originally he did not like wearing his glasses on stage. He thought it made him look like a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So when he did have to wear glasses, he'd try to wear the least conspicuous glasses that he possibly could find. Or he would just go to auditions and things and not wear his glasses and be totally blind and not know what he's doing on stage.
Oh.
So his optometrist actually went to Mexico City and found found the original pair of Buddy Holly glasses.
Oh, is that right?
Because his optometrist thought, you need something that makes you look cool. I think these are cool looking glasses. Now, this is probably what happens when like a 45-year-old optometrist in 1957 in Lubbock, Texas gets to decide what's cool for you.
Yeah.
You probably wind up with Buddy Holly glasses.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah. I remember hearing John Lennon claim that he felt, because I think he wore glasses as a young man and felt that he could be a rock and roller if Buddy Holly wore glasses and could be a rock and roller.
Right. I mean, it took Buddy Holly from being, he's kind of remembered as a nerd icon now.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily, if you listen to his music, it was pretty hard rocking music, especially for the era.
Yeah.
So it really is a matter of just kind of how much the glasses inform what your perception is of him as an artist.
It's interesting. You flash forward, I think you brought him up. You flash forward 20, 25 years and you get to Elvis Costello. And that is such a fully adopted, I wouldn't even say nerd rock, but there is something very strange about him. But he brings that in as well. It was only really him and maybe Devo that kind of, you're like, oh, these guys are kind of nerds.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all kind of laid.
I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
I find a similar reaction in Morrissey wearing a hearing aid on stage.
He did that for aesthetic reasons, not because he was hard of hearing.
No, what I think is it's saying, look at me, I'm a freak. Or look at me, I'm not trying to hide the things that somebody else might hide to make themselves ugly. Or it seems like a thing that other people might be embarrassed about that he's showing his courage to wear. With Elvis Costello, I almost feel like Buddy Holly's glasses and Elvis Costello's glasses look like what they call in the Army BCDs,
right?
Like birth control devices,
right? Like
the standard issue glasses that the National Health would have issued, Buddy Holly or DJ McManus, Declan McManus as a child, you know. So in a way, that feels like almost as punk as dyeing your hair and spiking it up.
Well, that's also what. You don't have John Lennon on your list, do you?
No, I thought about him, but he was not there.
That's actually when he originally got his glasses there for this movie called How I Won the War.
Oh, yeah.
And he originally got them because they were just a prop that would be basically, here's what you would get from the National Health Service if you were a soldier.
Yeah.
And you just needed free glasses.
Yeah.
That you would get a set like this. So I think it is kind of interesting that his were originally a way to be fashionable.
Yeah.
Even though now it got retrograded back to being nerd look, and then the nerd look became cool again. So it's kind of gone through these like phases back and forth.
Yeah, but glasses as a political stance. But that's not what you just mentioned, Buddy Holly. But you got to rock harder if you got those glasses on.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
All right, Buddy Holly. Michael, what do you got?
My first glasses are the only ones that are functional. The rest are all fashion.
Oh.
So the first one, though, is the visor that Geordie LaForge wears in Star Trek The Next Generation.
That's awesome.
I believe that's related to Cyclops. Yeah. The Cyclops thing, right?
It's a far distant cousin, Geordie LaForge's. A visor isn't just visor. It stands for Virtual Instrument and Sensory Organ Replacement, because of course it does.
Yeah.
I had to delve into the Star Trek wiki to really get into the guts of this thing. The thing that I found the most interesting, just reading about it, is it's basically eyeglasses that are a bit extra. They give him a little bit of extra senses. He kind of looks at the world on a different wavelength than seeing it through like normal eyes. And later on, they basically upgraded him to not having this visor, and he just has like these kind of replacement eyes. They basically replaced his eyes or special contacts or whatever. But it's weird looking at him. It's like looking at Chewbacca without like a bandolier.
Yeah.
He's just like, put the glasses back on.
Yeah.
Put the visor back on. It's a weird thing when you're so used to someone with one look that you see them without it, and you're like,
No.
I don't like that. Geordie LaForge wearing the visor is what he should look like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're LeVar Burton on Reading Rainbow.
Right.
And those are two different characters to me.
Something charming about all the series of Star Trek, how, like other sci-fi films, they adopt a humanoid first point of view when developing characters. There's not too many octopus blobs walking down the Enterprise, or there's not that many. And then everything's always like one tick off of a Earth human type
It's like
thing.
a human, but she's green.
Yeah, human but she's
but some
green.
shit
Yeah,
on his head.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a space belt, or he's wearing a space watch, or those are space glasses. I didn't realize that they were beyond glasses, that they allowed him to see or censor. There were.
Did they go back and forth like the Battlestar Galactica?
Or like Kit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I remember growing up watching the show, and it was just, he'd talk about it a lot. Like he was totally blind without them. But then the way he described was when he did gain, I think there was an episode where he did gain sight again, and it was like this. I don't like to see the world the way that normal people see the world.
Oh.
I'm so used to the way that that this thing is on me, that he sees it in like wavelengths, and he sees it in
Oh yeah.
he sees the infrared, and you can see different things. And I'm sure throughout the series he's augmented it to fill in whatever the science officer thing that he needs it to do.
Yeah.
Did the episode end with Worf deciding to do a mercy killing on his side and like gouging his eyeballs out?
I will help you.
Star Trek: The Next Thrones. But no, I don't know. I was thinking of like an iconic look and an iconic eyewear, and I did think of Cyclops at some point, who has, I don't know, is he on your list?
No,
Probably
he's not.
But the Cyclops character from the X-Men has a visual impairment, which is why he wears the visor. He fell out of a plane when he was a teenager, and he can't control it without having this thing on. And it's like if he's not wearing that, he's in total danger. It's like they were kind of the reverse of this, even though the look is the same.
Is that virtual sensory organ replacement powered by electricity? What's that, Ben?
Oh, Ben's back.
He's just been hanging out.
Yeah.
Eating
He's
some
just
pub-
been
eating
he's
some
been
pub
in the
mix.
green room.
Because guess who discovered that shit?
Who?
Ben, what? Electricity. I was just out there flying a kite.
I mean,
He's kind of taking it down. Okay, I'm going to, yeah.
like Ben was able to kind of harness lightning. It's hard to say that you discovered.
Yeah, bitch, up high, man.
It's hard to say that you just discovered electricity.
I invented that shit.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your second, Richard?
All right, my second this is the only one I have that is not specific to a person.
Oh.
So these are just Ray-Bans in the broader sense.
Okay.
Because I couldn't really come up with like one iconic person for Ray-Bans
Yeah.
because they've been worn
Yeah.
by so many people in so many different ways.
Sold as a special deal via our Facebook friends. That somehow it's always like
Tag us in
someone is tagged on a special Ray-Ban deal for $9.99.
Yes, if you'd like to know when somebody's Facebook has been hacked, it's a
Is it the Wayfarer in particular?
yeah, the
Okay,
Wayfarer
okay.
in particular, which started out as glasses that were made specifically to be masculine,
Oh.
because Ray-Ban basically felt like that most sunglasses were too feminine for men to wear, so
Oh.
they wanted a more masculine alternative.
Yeah.
So that's sort of why when you get it to it in the 50s with, Rebel Without a Cause and James Dean, but you still had women wearing them, like Marilyn Monroe would wear them if she didn't want to be recognized by the paparazzi or she was going out or something, she'd throw on Ray-Bans. I did not know this. This was really interesting to me, that apparently they signed a deal back in 1982, Ray-Ban did, with a unique product placement which is a company that does product placements for films and TV shows. $50,000 a year to try and get them in movies and TV shows because the brand had really dipped in the 70s and people weren't wearing Ray-Bans at the time. And so that's why in 1983, for example, that was part of that deal was that they got Ray-Bans on Tom Cruise
for Risky Business.
Miami Vice, same thing. So, and they spent $50,000 a year for that type of like product placement.
Wait, what did Alf?
That's why cornflakes were so popular. Everyone was just like sliding around in their underpants, dumping cornflakes on them too.
I remember
Did
that.
Alf wear Ray-Bans?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just something about the Ray-Ban that's inherently cool. I don't wear sunglasses that often. I've had one pair of Ray-Bans my whole life, and they're so proud to get them, so happy. The real Ray-Bans, not kind of the bullshit I got at the gas station, and they kind of look like Ray-Bans if you squint your eyes a little bit. And then they got broken about a month after I had them. Was playing tennis, had put them down to not wear them, and then somehow somebody stepped on them. Always the way.
Sunglasses and me have never gone hand in hand, mostly because I've always worn glasses, and I've always worn glasses because I have, we're getting into my medical history here. I have an astigmatism in one eye where I can't wear contacts.
Yeah.
Like I have a curvature where the optometrist says you can't. So like I can get prescription sunglasses. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. I'm going to break those first.
I know it. It's going to happen exactly that happens with you is that I know that I'm going to treat them slightly less preciously than I do the glasses that I wear every day.
Because you're not wearing them all the time.
Yeah.
They're going to be laying around, and someone's going to stomp on them.
I can't break or lose cheap sunglasses though. Like if they're the cheap ones that I
survive
think.
for forever. When the apocalypse comes and all the aliens come down, it's going to be like, wow, there's a lot of shitty sunglasses around here.
The Ray-Ban, somebody told me that Ray-Ban was a kind of a euphemism for sunglasses at one point. That
they were so popular.
They fell into that Kleenex or
not like it wasn't even.
Xerox
It was like that was actually before the term sunglasses or something. That sounds apocryphal. All right, good enough. Ray-Bans, and I heard that style, the square style, is called the Spotlight style. They're the squarish ones fall into that category of that.
Yeah, I can't figure out why they're so.
Pretty cool.
I'd like to figure out why they're so universally cool. I don't know what it is about them specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any thoughts, Jeff?
I think they do look like one has a bright light shining down on you and almost like shadows your eye. And then they look like a shadow, I think, on your eyes. And I think that's a very dramatic look.
So you're saying they're telling people that your future is so bright that
you got
to wear shades?
You got to wear shades, yeah. Winfield, your second choice.
New Year's Eve glasses, specifically Y2K glasses.
Nice.
These things are always atrocious, especially when you get into, if like it's the year like 1977, let's just say, and like there's not enough circles for your eyes, and you're just like, this is awful.
Yeah, 2017, there wasn't really a...
No, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I went back a little too far, but...
Back in 11/11, they're like, what the fuck are we going to do?
I am blind.
I'm blind.
Jesus in the year one was like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
I just got a thing that's hanging on the middle of my face.
The New Year's Eve novelty glasses are so ubiquitous, and they're just such this flimsy piece of trash that you decide to put on that maybe you think is fun or funny. It's a thing that unfunny people think is funny.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a wig. It's like wearing a wig to a kickball game, Richard.
Oh.
And you think that is the thing that's going to set me apart. But New Year's Eve glasses, especially around the year 2000, were so prominent because it was such that doom and gloom, not knowing what was going to happen. Is this the last night on Earth?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've got to live it up by buying these awful novelty glasses.
Do you think they became popular about the time when the Tom Petty in the video for Don't Come Around Here No More top hat came around? Because you remember for a while
that was
everybody
probably 1984, 85.
Was that? Oh yeah.
That's
a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
The Mad Hatter-esque hat, because you'd see it at the ballpark. There was things were everywhere at festivals,
the cat
Lollapalooza
hat looking thing.
Yeah,
that was a little bit later. I think that was like that resurgence
that was like rave culture.
Yeah,
Was it?
96,
Oh.
97 rave culture kind of coming in. People with sucking on pacifiers.
Save it for the Mount Rushmore of hats.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit.
But I don't know. These glasses I thought of just like, they're so dumb. And we've all had some version of it. We've all either put them on at some party or celebrated the New Year's by... I don't know. There's so many different versions too. There's just like the generic ones, or you can go fancy.
Well, now you're a dad, so here's the thing.
Yeah,
Your
I know.
kid's gonna find it funny.
Ah, that's true.
I would love to send those into like prescriptions.com and say, put some lenses in these fuckers. Come on, sir. It's like 2006. Why?
I wonder if people who were
That's
so
a pretty good year.
if people who were so afraid of like Y2K and all the bugs going crazy, I wonder if there was like the people that lived on the edge and bought like electronic ones.
Yeah.
With like battery and light operators, like,
oh yeah,
fuck it. I'm gonna live. If this is the last night on Earth and these things fry my face off at the stroke of midnight,
yeah,
I'm there.
Do you think all those people, they chose the glasses because the New Year's Eve hat has that thin elastic thing that always just ends up snapping your neck, and they were just afraid of that? Do you think that's it?
Getting garroted by someone in the
Happy New Year.
It's a ligature strangling me. Okay, we are at our halftime, surprisingly, of the Mount Rushmore of Glasses. And look at your phone. Look at the computer. Put your glasses on if you need to, at the iPad that you got, and look at past episodes of the Mount Rushmore podcast. Hit that download button and hit that 5-star button, and then go ahead and type in a review. We'd love to find out which episodes you like, which you don't, what you think of the podcast in general. Now, keep your glasses on. Do the double press that you have to do to navigate over to the Facebook app, and then go follow the discussions on the Mount Rushmore podcast page on Facebook. Why not go to Twitter and Instagram while you're at it? We'd love to get your suggestions for future episodes or your comments on past episodes. And I guess begrudgingly we should promote other podcasts that are not nearly as good as ours, but here's these guys that trying to take a stab at it.
Everybody has a story, and not all of those stories are clear black and white issues, even when we think they are. We wonder, how did this happen? Or what is that like? Or what happens next? Are you sure you really want to know? This is Ignorance Was Bliss at IWB Podcast.
Oh, they stabbed it pretty good.
Could you imagine the lead into a commercial of like, Big Bang Theory's going to commercial, and they're like, yeah. Do you need to use cheer? I guess it does it cleans some clothes, I guess.
You gotta buy a car. You might as well buy a Ford, and then cut to the Ford commercial.
Ben Franklin, question for you.
What's up?
Is he still here?
What's up? Hey guys, let me tell you about this alcohol that I made using hair. It was really bad.
Pass. Hard pass.
Everything of like, bro, don't, haven't they ever said, I got Jersey, I got Boston there. Don't you have the hair of the dog that bit you? This is hair of hair that bit you.
So,
it's hair-based alcohol.
You invented
What's up?
electricity.
Invented that shit.
Invented electricity.
Yeah.
The bifocals.
Yep.
Franklin stove.
Franklin stove.
I assume
the battery, the library.
Did you become like a millionaire, or just what happened?
Publishing is pretty much where I made my fortune, but I had a lot of failures. There was things I first to publish.
Yeah, hair wine.
Hair wine was that. That was not what I thought it would be, dude. But what? Grapes are any better? Yeah, that shit's better.
Yeah, it is.
I had an all German newspaper. Weren't enough Germans. So I said, if it's time.
Tried to make the turkey the national bird.
Yeah, I messed that up.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking on that one.
Yeah.
You invested a lot in that. That's
Hey.
the trouble.
Yeah, all your wild turkey, like a USA paraphernalia.
Hey, you fuckers, are you guys on money? I am. Wasn't even a president. Eat that.
Richard, we got.
Eat that.
I just
That's just floating.
Michael, we just got to wear that one.
That's just floating in there.
Wow.
All right, we're back. Yeah, dude. No, whatever you want in the fridge. It's a microwave. You just put that stuff in the microwave. Oh, you didn't invent that. Okay. Good improv.
Yes, and?
It's Richard.
All right, so my third choice. Yeah. Randy Macho Man Savage.
Oh, wow.
And his wraparound
Yeah.
mirrored glasses. So he was a wrestler who is known for dressing flamboyantly.
Oh, for sure.
Would be a good way to put it. With his cowboy hat and what else? His tie-dyed spandex.
He had a lot of
fringe.
tassels.
Tassels,
A lot
yeah.
of fringe and tassel. A little bit of Surrey with a fringe on top.
Did he didn't have shoulder pads. He didn't need those.
No, he
did
didn't need them. He had
Okay.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Do you know
Unlike us.
Do you know what's great about Macho Man? I mean, I know we're going to talk about his glasses, but when he was in the ring, he just got down to nothing. He got down to the smallest of shorts.
Yeah.
The tidiest.
That just had like a couple of stars on it, like they're pink and white, and like that was it. He was just a wild man. I mean, this
Yeah.
is before his later years when he was just pumped full of
Yeah.
chemicals, man, and
Right.
But like, I love that he had all that flair and just stripped down to nothing. And
Oh,
just
yeah.
wrestled.
Yeah.
Love it. And his glasses were a very big part of his look, I'd say. In fact, whenever you buy, if you were to go to the WWE web store, I know for a fact that you would see Macho Man paraphernalia that basically has the wraparound glasses that say Macho Man on them, because that's how iconic they were and connected to him. And his outfits, at least, and then everything else, was designed by this guy named Michael Braun, who also did outfits for Jimi Hendrix
Wow.
and Cher and Bon Jovi.
Wow.
So, real style icons.
Yeah.
Actual style icons. And he's got, outfits hanging in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, stuff like that. And he's the guy who designed all of Randy Savage's look, which included the glasses, which were hand-painted by Michael Braun. So he had dozens of glasses that were all individually hand-painted.
I don't know, brother. I'm thinking like a gray flannel suit.
Oh, yeah, can you get me one of those plaid jackets? Yeah.
This Braun fella says it should be more colorful.
Do you think him and Bret Hitman Hart had a glasses rivalry going on?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm
Do
sure.
you think that because I don't remember Macho Man as one that was generous with his glasses to the crowd, but definitely that was part of
Hart's thing. Yeah.
Hart's shtick was like he would find like the 11-year-old boy in the audience and like bestow this gift upon them.
Yeah, how much he had to sell those in bulk? Buy those in bulk, I would imagine.
Yeah, but they were like cheap foam ones.
Yeah, they weren't nice ones. Like, I mean, again, if your glasses were designed by a world famous costume designer, you're not giving those fuckers away.
I'm always impressed, now that we're on to wrestlers' fashion, I'm always impressed by how many wrestling outfits it seems that some of these guys go through. Like, some people have, like, just a single look. Like,
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, for example.
That's a good one.
Like, wore, like, black trunks and, like...
A vest.
And, like, that was it. The vest got duded up here and there, but for the most part, it was the same.
Yeah.
But some of these guys just must go through so many hundreds of different looks. You think of, I mean, I think we're kind of stuck in like the late 80s, early 90s right now, but Ravishing Rick Rude, he'd have a different person face painted on his pants, airbrushed on his pants every night. All these, like, there were just guys that were just like, I'm sure half of their money went into just like their look.
Right. I think we're glossing over the fact that Stone Cold Steve Austin wore a vest with no shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to really think about that for a second. And how would that be something that would happen kind of
In life?
real life?
Yeah.
That you would think?
It's like the assless, it's like the chaps without the pants of tops.
That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you organically get to the point where you're like, got my wrestling trunks, got my boots.
Yeah.
Do I need anything else?
No.
Oh yeah, vest.
Yeah. The vest is an added layer of protection
Right.
in addition to a shirt.
And it's it's interesting to me to kind of bring it back to Randy Savage a little bit, being organic. There's nothing organic about wearing sunglasses inside an arena. You're indoors, except if you're trying to be
The bright lights.
heel asshole
Oh.
who thinks he's too cool for everybody else or whatever.
Who was
Then
the
it
woman?
works.
Who was the
Elizabeth.
woman? Elizabeth.
I think it also helped contain the crazy eyes. because you couldn't always have those crazy eyes on camera. Like you could, like in an interview with like Mean Gene,
Yeah.
you needed to put something in front of those eyes that's staring at you that you're just like, oh, those things are darting all over the place, and
Yeah.
this person is insane. But like having those glasses on really contained.
Oh, yeah.
It helped. It was almost like a
was like
mask that he wore.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
You had
It's
to do
almost like
less.
Cyclops.
You had to do less eyes. You said that to do crazy eyes probably is an optical nightmare and give you a headache. So you could cover it up, and we'd assume the eyes were crazy underneath.
Yeah.
Elizabeth he was trying to get her to say that he was better than the best, and she kept saying, "You're the best," and he would correct her, and then he shoved her out of the frame.
Right.
Then he dragged her back in the frame. It was trying to get her to say,
Abuse.
That was a tough one.
yeah. Okay, Winfield.
Clark Kent.
Ding, 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 ding. A guest of the podcast said, duh, Clark Kent, obviously. So that's
that?
on there. Let's find it. There was a lot of great input from
Pausing for station identification.
pausing. This pause brought to you by VSP, the insurance providers for optical healthcare. VSP, also the owner of the
Very special poisons.
Very special poisons. VSP also owns Lens Crafters. Also owns most optical creation places. Da, 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 da. All right, guys. At this point, I'm checking to see what some of our followers of the podcast have said that they think first comes to mind when they think of glasses. And this
You
is
had
taking
to ask, Richard.
This is taking
Sorry,
very
he
long.
said that it was a guest.
I know.
Former guest. So I assumed he knew who it was.
Yeah. No, not for. Sorry, it's a fan
Oh, okay.
of the podcast said Superman, and that person, or Clark Kent, and that person.
Oh, fuck them then. If they're not a former guest, I don't care.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Not significant.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of any podcast is when someone starts to research in
In
time.
What kind of-
Yeah, this is the best. Maybe we can do some more like Well, really, Richard, you and I should be vamping for a bit.
Oh, I was singing Spanish Fly by Tijuana Brass.
Oh, we got to pay for that now.
Yeah, but I sang it really crappy, so you really can't tell what it is.
Somebody said it. View 10 more comments. Okay.
Jim Neeb?
The funniest man.
Okay, should I talk about Clark Kent while you're looking for it, and then you can just throw
Amy Hewell.
Oh, okay, I
Oh,
know her. She's
Richard.
great.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Amy Hewell.
Yeah.
What about Clark Kent?
Well, Clark Kent, obviously the fake persona of Superman, didn't need glasses because, of course, Superman has incredible vision, super vision.
Yeah.
But he created this character of Clark Kent. Superman really has three personas.
Yeah.
He has Superman, he has Clark Kent, and then there's kind of Kal-El, who's kind of like his real true persona.
But
That's
also Marty Feldman. That was his other.
That was the
he did a lot of work
goggle-eyed.
of Marty Feldman from 1972 to like 81.
Right.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Before he
Good
died.
run.
Yep.
But his three kind of personas in one. Superman is obviously a costume he puts on to help humanity. Then Clark Kent is the costume he puts on to protect his identity as Superman so he can go be in the city.
Right.
And then he has his other kind of more true form of Clark or Kal-El of like him on the farm and back home, and he doesn't need glasses for that too. But he's chosen to kind of use glasses to be this mild-mannered reporter, as he was initially described back in like the 40s and 50s. And it was very interesting because the look was so, I guess they used glasses as kind of a mask. It kind of does the same thing as when you put on one of those kind of domino masks and it covers up his face. I mean, no one actually ever believes that all you can do to hide his identity is to put on glasses.
Yeah.
But that's what they accepted. You just kind of accepted that reality of like, oh yeah, Superman puts on glasses and puts on a suit.
Yeah, I mean, the idea, I think, is that Clark Kent, by putting on the glasses, becomes this meek. He's projecting a meekness that you would then assume, well, there's no way he could be.
There's a very interesting thing they did with, especially the performance of, in the first Superman movie,
Christopher Reeve.
with Christopher Reeve, where he portrayed him Clark Kent as smart but bumbling. He was clumsy. He was a farm boy in the big city. He kind of stood hunched over with like kind of his rolled shoulders. And then when he takes his glasses off and he stands up straight as Superman, he turns from someone that's 6 foot tall to someone that's like 6'4". And just like his physical transformation is aided by his glasses, it kind of helps reduce him down to somebody that is a normal human being. And then when he takes the glasses off, stands up straight, back, he's this otherworldly superhero.
Yeah.
And it is such an interesting, you know what I've always disagreed with? There's a bit in Kill Bill Volume 2 where near the end, Beatrix Kiddo is sitting with Bill, and he's talking about how like Clark Kent is what Superman thinks of humanity, and how he's like this is a lesser being, and it's just like, no, it's just a disguise. Like he adopts so much into, it's like such a Quentin Tarantino bullshit take on a character that is just so vastly wrong. And it's just like, this is how he sees human beings, as like these weak things. It's like, no, Superman has to be like, there's so many different parts to his character that it's just a mask that he's wearing.
I guarantee you Kevin Smith would not have had that hot take.
No.
Do you think at the time, well, I think it's interesting, glasses as mask, and we've had glasses as a way of being seen versus a way of hiding, or at least he's trying to have them see him as weak, and certainly draw them off the tail of him being the most powerful person in the universe.
There's a great comic, Jeff, that you should read called All-Star Superman by Frank Quitely, who's the artist, and Grant Morrison, who's the writer. And he really captures Clark Kent in this similar kind of Christopher Reeve way, where he is just this big oaf.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. It's really quite something.
Awesome. Your final one, Richard.
My last one is the monocle, specifically as worn by Mr. Peanut.
Wait a minute. Monocles are not glasses, dude. Monocles are a monocle.
They're glass.
Glasses are 2. Monocle is 1.
Well, no.
Spectacles and glasses.
I think we're in the general world of glass.
If you accepted, well, no, Jeff.
Okay, if we did,
how about this, Jeff? You're right.
If we did bicycles and you said unicycle.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit.
If we said twins and you said one person.
Well, that's different. That's not the same.
It's not.
No.
That's a hard take.
Okay.
I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. I had written 2 lists because I wasn't sure which way we were going to go.
Did you write one for like actual like cups and things?
I had the bifocal. I had the monocle. Or I had the monocle.
Yeah.
The bifocal. 3D glasses. And I was like, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got to get a 4. And I had flip up sunshades.
Nice.
But the monocle was on my list.
Okay.
In some early stages of development of this.
I think from a broader standpoint, glasses are there to aid with your eyesight.
I'm going to go down to all my monocle stuff that I'd written.
Okay.
All my monocle bits.
All your monocle bits.
Yeah, I did say spectacles. I said glasses.
Well,
so I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut.
Because
has he gotten you back with Mr. Peanut? Because that's where he got me back.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, when you need
to class up a shitty product,
when you need to project classiness onto a legume,
yeah,
you can have the cane, you can have the top hat.
Was he just
But
trying to
really the
hide
monocle.
his identity as Super Peanut? Because Super Peanut, if people knew that Mr. Peanut was Super Peanut,
He'd be his family would be in
Yeah,
terrible
yes,
danger, grave danger from
Yes. Now that's just bringing
wasabi almond.
around because he also has the cane too. That he seems to not have a disability.
Yeah, he's just a dandy.
He's just a dandy. Okay.
I love him. Love me a monocle. They
Yeah.
seem completely useless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they mainly exist so that Margaret Dumont can get scared
Yes,
and have
yeah.
or upset and have one pop out into
Yeah.
her champagne glass. That's basically the whole reason this exists.
the flimsy research I did about the monocle was that a lot of them were invented so you could like examine documents closely.
Oh.
You could stick them in your eye and just look at some highfalutin old book or something.
Nobody says, you're about to make a monocle of yourself.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Okay.
So the Mr. Peanut one was actually originally there was a contest to try and come up with an anthropomorphic peanut, and it was won by Antonio Gentile, who in 1916 who was a
he's not in The Sopranos.
Was a schoolboy,
Okay.
14-year-old back in 1916, and he basically came up with the idea for Mr. Peanut. And then the ad wizards got it
Oh,
and
wow.
decided we need to class this thing up.
Oh, your number one enemy is the ad wizards, Richard.
Yeah, and they decided, well, we need a top hat. We need spats. What else do we need? We need that goddamn monocle on there. And back in 2014, actually, Mr. Peanut had to weigh in on a fashion movement when the monocle was making a brief comeback with your hipster.
Oh.
Portland, let's say, element.
Mm-hmm.
And
So he's looking at me like I was
Like you.
like I did anything.
Wait, which year? When?
2014.
Oh, okay.
And he basically had to issue a press release that said like, yeah, I noticed these hipsters are wearing them, but no one wears them as good as me.
Oh, okay.
There.
I would say that kind of feels like a tail end of like that kind of brief steampunk surgence
Oh, yeah.
in
Yes.
popular culture where like people decided that like brown leather and typewriters were really cool.
Yeah.
And farthing.
Do you feel like there's a place where Scrooge McDuck, Uncle Moneybags, or like the Monopoly guy?
Yeah, where do they go and get their...
Yeah, the New Yorker,
monopoles.
the New Yorker
Monopoles.
icon guy.
Yeah.
All kind of hang out. Yeah, like is there a boutique optician where they all go? Do you think
It's half off, though.
it's a
What's where they go? That is the real reason. Is all of these millionaires and billionaires wear monocles?
just want to save money?
They're so cheap
Yeah.
that they are not going to even
Yeah.
spend the money for two glasses when they can see out of one eye. They're just
Yeah.
going to close one eye all the time. Yeah,
There's a cricket inside the garage. That's very loud.
that
Look-
feels like an insult.
Yeah. The crickets. That's our podcast, folks. Crickets just listening. Okay. Michael, your final choice.
My final choice is Holly Golightly sunglasses
Oh, wow.
in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay.
And obviously, Audrey Hepburn wore these glasses. They were Oliver Goldsmith Manhattan sunglasses, and wore them prominently in kind of the opening scene and a few times throughout the movie. And they act as, we talked about them for glasses for Superman as kind of a mask, and they do the same thing for the Holly Golightly character.
Yeah.
Is she wears, the entire movie and the entire book by
Truman Capote.
Capote, thank you, was it's all about identity. Her character is of this kind of country bumpkin that moves to the city that's
Yeah.
trying to disguise who she really is, and so she crafts these different identities and she acts as like this kind of socialite. She's not quite a call girl.
Yeah.
She kind of does things for I don't know.
She dates rich people.
She dates rich people, but it's never explicitly stated whether she sleeps with them.
Right.
But she's kind of masking herself, and
Because we lived in a classier time back then.
yeah,
As evidenced by Mickey Rooney.
there's just kind of like
That's
this.
the most unfortunate part.
That's yeah, but she kind of has like this physical metamorphosis when she's dressed up in her sunglasses, which happen to also be these prescription glasses. She doesn't really see well without them. And I don't know. I just thought it was a fascinating just an iconic visual
Yeah.
look for a person that so many people look up to,
Oh, yeah.
just fashion wise.
That
But then
poster, those
Yeah.
pants she wears. Yeah.
But when she does ultimately kind of take off the black dress, take off the glasses, takes up all the makeup. It kind of reveals who she is underneath all that, but underneath the stuff that she is kind of projecting to the world.
That's interesting. That just seems like another. Wow. Okay. So I haven't really done this in a while, but kind of noticed. It seems like, Richard, a lot of your choices are things where the person is kind of choosing glasses to distinguish and stand out and to make themselves rise in esteem or something like that.
Or coolness.
Coolness, yeah. And Michael, seems like there's a lot of disguises in your list. The people who are trying to either hide their flaws or hide their strengths. So that's interesting.
Hide their love for the year 1999.
That's right. So, I just would love to go about the list that was submitted by our folks out on the internet. And
Did anyone have Elton John?
3 or 4 Elton Johns.
Okay.
Guess what Scott Jones chose?
Elton John.
No, I thought it would be Elton John. Scott Jones.
Is it a Kansas City Royal? George Brett wearing glasses.
My brother and a friend from high school, Scott Jones, and a few other people chose Drew Carey. My brother chose Dan Quisenberry and Freddie Cookie Rojas, some Kansas City Royals. I was surprised at the number of Diane Keatons.
Huh.
Because I don't necessarily think of her as glasses necessarily.
Annie Hall wore glasses.
Yeah,
she did,
but not in The Godfather. Or like there's some roles that she did, and a lot of Elton Johns. A lot of the predominant leader was Stephen Colbert. I think of him as having glasses, but not.
That is a very interesting. That is really interesting. I do the same. I think of someone he just happens to wear glasses. I don't see them as a iconic aspect of his character. The same way that like Bernie Sanders wears glasses. It's like, he wears glasses. He's some old guy that wears glasses. I wear glasses because I can't see.
They're not particularly like flamboyant or interesting.
Yeah. They're not thick.
Glasses.
One of the early thoughts.
This is the reason why we do the show and not other people, by the way.
One of the thoughts that I had earlier was Woody Allen, and Woody Allen was earlier on in his career, I think, channeling a couple comics, among them Jack Benny, who was a comedian who wasn't kind of afraid to wear glasses. Yeah. Whereas Bob Hope would probably be much more of a dandy type of.
Was there any Harry Carey there?
I don't see any Harry Carey.
I almost thought that was the one I almost one of the ones I almost had.
Emily mentioned
Coke bottles that were like a good 2 inches thick. Yeah.
Before I left tonight, Emily asked me, "Oh, so what are you recording?" I told her, he's like, "Oh, glasses," and she's like, "Oh, Harry Carey." She's like, "Oh, Richard is 100% going to choose him," and I was like, "I don't know, maybe." There you go.
Thought about it, but did not.
One of the responses was just a GIF of Charles Nelson Riley, which is pretty cool. So I would invite you to go. We'll put a link to it in maybe in the show notes or something like that if you want to go there. So my choices are, and some of them were already chosen by our guys here. We started off with Buddy Holly, and that was at the top of the list there, Buddy Holly. And then let's see. Another thing that I had chosen was Elton John, but y'all didn't say it. But then my fourth was Superman, but you said that your third. Is that right, Michael?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'd like to go, because you educated me on this, I'd like to go with Mr. Peanut and Holly Golightly. Is that 4?
That is 4.
That's 4. Does
Buddy
that work?
Holly, Mr. Peanut,
Holly
Golightly, and Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, our Mount Rushmore.
That's a hell of a band.
That's a hell of a band. So thank you guys for listening. This is being the Mount Rushmore of glasses. Next week is the Mount Rushmore of
comedic Draculas. another Jeff Hopkins production.
I can't wait for
Jeff
this.
Hopkins. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Blah. That's what I was thinking. Perfect. Just in time for not Halloween. This has been the Mount Rushmore of comedic. No, wait. Comedic Blackulous. No, glasses. I am always Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.
Comedic Black.